I said a little while ago that our sense of community is so strong, even death could not separate us. This, of course, is at the heart of our understanding of the communion of saints. We believe firmly what we hear at a Catholic funeral when the priest says, "Lord, for your faithful people, life is changed, not ended." One of the most powerful things Joe recommends introducing into your faith formation session is inviting your participants to pray for people who have died. Doing so brings a very sobering and reverent reality to your gathering. Kids especially are very sensitive to loved ones they may have lost, usually grandparents, aunts, and uncles. So invite them to say the names of these people, to pray for them, and ask for, this is a beautiful way to teach them about the communion of saints. It's also a very comforting thing for kids to know that these people are still with us. Now, Joe told me that when he thinks of communion of saints, he thinks of that Verizon commercial. You've seen it on TV, I'm sure, about how you've got the network, and then shows a humongous crowd of support people following the phone user wherever they went. Joe says in the same way when it comes to the communion of saints, we've got that network. Now, one more way to reinforce the powerful Catholic sense of community is through instilling a sense of stewardship and solidarity in those you teach. Now, in terms of stewardship, Joe recommends that you make it a point to consistently be asking your participants to assume tasks on behalf of the whole group, whether it's distributing or collecting books and pens and materials, or setting up the prayer table, or leading a discussion, facilitating an activity, or even teaching part of the class. The message should be loud and clear. The only way this is going to work is if we all pitch in together and do our share. Now, be sure to take it to another level from this. However, encourage your participants to volunteer for opportunities to serve in the parish, in the community, and even participate in efforts that span the globe. We'll talk more on that point a little bit later on tonight. Now, in Joe's PDF that he's prepared for you, he'll provide links to some resources available for encouraging young people to develop a sense of solidarity with their brothers and sisters throughout the world. Again, that's in the PDF that Joe has prepared. Now, before we move on to our third characteristic of Catholic identity, let's turn things back over to Nick here for a moment. He'll tell us about an important survey at the end of the webinar. Nick?
All right, thank you, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this event, you will be presented with a brief survey, just a few questions that we would ask you to answer that help us not only learn how we're doing and better improve that, but also to get some ideas for future webinars so that we can better serve you and your ministry. You will notice, because of the short timing that we had, that the survey questions will still refer to Joe as the presenter, but please go ahead and fill them out for Jim as he's working with us tonight. And again, that survey will appear at the end of our presentation when you close out the WebEx window. So again, please fill that out, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Nick. Now, the third characteristic of Catholic identity is respect for the dignity of human life and commitment to justice. Dignity and respect go hand in hand. Catholics respect the dignity of every human life from the moment of conception to the moment of death and beyond. As a result of this respect, we are committed to working for justice, seeking to build structures and practices in society that respect the dignity of human beings and eliminating those structures and practices that do not. Now, Joe points out that this profound respect for human dignity comes from two sources. First, we believe that every human being is created by God in the image and likeness of God. Second, our Catholic vision is incarnational. We believe that the Word of God became flesh, thus elevating the human to the divine. And so we live with a profound respect for the dignity of human life and with a courageous commitment to social justice. So let's take a look at some of the ways catechists can integrate this respect for the dignity of human life and a commitment to social justice into your faith formation. Perhaps one of the most profound ways that Catholics have traditionally sought to instill this sense of respect for the dignity of human life is through the corporal works of mercy, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, visiting the sick and in prison, sheltering the homeless, and so on. All of these works, of course, are described by Jesus in his parable of the Last Judgment in Matthew 25. When we perform works of mercy, God's mercy is revealed to the world. And so Joe suggests that in your religious education classrooms, performing corporal works of mercy should be an ongoing assignment. Inviting and challenging the young people to perform service for others is a great way to teach this profound respect that we have for the dignity of others. Now, kids will ask, why do we have to do this? Which gives you the opportunity to respond by saying, because this is what followers of Jesus do. In addition to local efforts such as food and clothing drives and so on, you have the opportunity to invite and encourage young people to participate in efforts that are worldwide in scope and yet still simply put corporal works of mercy. Now, Catholic Relief Services, Catholic Charities, the Holy Childhood Association, and Operation Rice Bowl are just a few of the examples. And Joe, again, in that PDF we've been talking about, has links in his PDF to these resources so you can make them readily available to your students. Now, here's another idea from Joe that emphasizes the notion of showing respect for all people, and it begins right in your own classroom. It's called a classroom convent, and it's something that Joe uses at his Most Holy Redeemer Parish, where he serves as a catechist. His DRE, Arlene, asked the catechist to read this out loud on the first class of the year and have every student come forward and sign it in a prayerful manner. I won't read the entire script to you, but let me read a portion. I have the right to be happy and to be treated with kindness in this classroom. I have the responsibility to treat others with kindness. This means no one will laugh at me, ignore me, or hurt my feelings, nor will I do this to others. I have the right to be myself in this classroom. That means that no one will treat me unfairly because I am fat or thin, fast or slow, boy or girl. I have the responsibility to treat others fairly. Now, again, Joe has a link to a copy of this, so you could download a copy and use it with your class in the future.